Pixar movies look colorful, funny, and harmless. Talking toys, singing emotions, and cute robots. But under the bright animation and jokes, Pixar tells stories about fear, loss, depression, and identity. These are not just children's movies. They are emotional stories for adults hiding inside family entertainment. Today, we are exploring the dark meanings hidden inside Pixar's most famous films and why they stay with us long after the credits roll. In Toy Story, Woody isn't just jealous of Buzz Lightyear. He is afraid of becoming useless. Buzz represents something new and exciting. Woody represents the fear of being replaced. This fear exists in real life. People feel it at work when younger employees arrive. Parents feel it when their children grow up. Friends feel it when relationships change. The movie is really asking one question: who are you when you are no longer needed? That's why Woody's breakdown feels so real. It's not about toys, it's about identity and self-worth. Inside Out looks playful on the surface, but it tells one of Pixar's darkest emotional stories. Riley slowly loses interest in everything she once loved. She becomes distant from her parents. She tries to escape her life instead of facing her feelings. This mirrors real childhood depression and emotional shutdown. The movie shows something powerful. Sadness is not a weakness. Sadness is necessary. Without sadness, Riley cannot heal. Pixar teaches that emotions are not meant to be controlled, but understood. In Coco, death is everywhere, but the darkest idea is not dying, it is being forgotten. In the land of the dead, people disappear forever when no one in the living world remembers them. This reflects a deep human fear, not physical death, but being erased from history. The movie reminds us that memories keep people alive, stories keep families connected, and forgetting is the true end. In WALL-E, Earth is destroyed by pollution and waste. Humans no longer walk, they no longer think for themselves. They float in chairs and stare at screens all day. Everything is done by machines. It looks funny, but it is terrifying. The movie is a warning about what happens when humans become slaves to comfort and technology. On the surface, it is a love story between two robots. Underneath, it is about humanity losing itself. The opening of Up shows love, aging, infertility, and death in only a few minutes. Carl doesn't just lose his wife, he loses the future he dreamed of. The rest of the movie is about grief, about learning to move forward when life does not go as planned. It is one of the most emotionally painful beginnings in animation history, because it feels real. In Finding Nemo, Marilyn is not just an overprotective father. He is traumatized by loss. After losing his family, he becomes terrified of the world. He controls Nemo because fear controls him. The movie is about learning to trust again, about accepting that you cannot protect loved ones from everything. It shows how fear can destroy relationships if left unchecked. In Monsters, Inc., the monsters scare children to survive. This is actually a story about how society runs on fear. The company is built on terror and exploitation. Only later do they discover that laughter creates more power than fear. The movie quietly teaches that fear is not strength, kindness is. In Ratatouille, Rennie is told his entire life that he does not belong. He is a rat in a kitchen, an outsider in a world that rejects him. The movie is about creativity and class barriers, about proving that talent can come from anywhere. It shows how society decides who is allowed to dream. In Soul, the story is not about death, it is about meaning. Joe believes his life only matters if he becomes famous and successful, But the movie teaches that life's purpose is simply living, breathing, feeling, existing. This is one of Pixar's most philosophical stories, asking what makes a life worth living. Pixar does not make movies only for children. They make movies for adults who were once children. Their writers believe kids can understand emotional truth if it is told gently. That is why Pixar stories talk about loss, fear, regret, growing up, and death in ways that feel safe but powerful. These movies help people process emotions they cannot explain yet. Pixar films are not really about toys, monsters, or robots. They are about being human. That is why adults cry watching them. That is why these movies stay in our minds for years. Pixar movies look like children's films, but their meanings are often darker than most adult movies, and that is what makes them unforgettable. Subscribe for more animation stories and hidden movie meanings.